When I was putting together this program, I thought it would be really important for us as Christian women, black Christian women, to look at the whole area of work and business, because it's a crucial area for us. A lot of Christian women are taking up businesses, forming their own businesses, and we are women who are aspirational. We want to be the best that we can be in work. So I thought it would be good to talk about work, the challenges that we face as women, whether in the workplace or running our own businesses. And I thought it would be good to gather 4 exceptionally gifted, talented women. Some I think might be millionaires, but but they are very successful businesswomen, top of their field, making a mark, getting in the newspapers and stuff. So I'm going to start at the end and get them all to introduce themselves and say who they are and what they do.
Hi, hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Sandra Brown-Pinnock, and I am the founder of Zandy's Hair and Cosmetics, and also the founders of Primal Beauty Natural. I think I started my business, I was doing business from I was in primary school. And I remember being in the Girls Guide selling cookies. Then I started selling sweets. I got in a lot of trouble for that. But my whole aim was about doing things for myself and just having money for myself and not depending on my dad or my mom, because at the time you have to do things, so you have chores that you have to do, and I wanted more. So it's always about want more and just looking for opportunities, and I'm always looking for where's the gap, where's the niche, looking for something, but I think I'll talk about that later. But I'm Sandra Brown, and that's what I do.
Thank you. Antonia.
I'm really delighted to be here, and thank you, Marcia, for inviting me to be on this panel. My name's Antonia Burrell, and I am the founder and chief executive officer of Antonia Burrell Holistic Skincare, which is a skincare brand that takes into consideration your lifestyle. It takes you as a holistic woman. So it's not just about the external, we're also looking about your internal well-being. We've just had Mental Health Week, and we were big on that. It's all about how you feel about yourself and how you channel those feelings into creating your destiny. And we want to create and inspire happiness with the product that we make, and we're making marks and we're changing lives. I also work as an esthetician and facialist in Notting Hill, and I travel all over the world really now, seeing all sorts of A-listers and everybody really. So I'm hands-on, but I'm also behind the camera as well.
Thank you. Claudine Reid.
Good morning. Yes, it's still morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Marcia, again for this opportunity to share on this panel with these fabulous ladies. I'm Claudine Reid, and for the last 25 years of my life, I know I don't look old enough, I, alongside my amazing husband and my team of 120 staff, we run a multi-award-winning social enterprise called PJ's Community Services. We specialise in a few key areas around recruitment, consultancy for individuals who want to start, run or develop their own social enterprise. I also am an international speaker and recently qualified graduate as a business psychologist, and I'm going on to do my PhD.
Carol Stewart.
Morning, everybody. My name is Carol Stewart, and I have a company called Abounding Solutions. I'm an executive career business coach, leadership coach, and I help women to be great leaders, with a particular emphasis on introverted women, because often introverted women get overlooked because they're quiet, but they're just as forceful as their extroverted colleagues. And I also work with organisations that have got large women's networks or Black, Asian and minority ethnic networks, and provide workshops and training on career development, personal development and leadership development. I started my business 7 years ago. Prior to that, I worked for the Ministry of Justice, started off as a typist and worked my way up, getting promoted several times to that of a senior leader with responsibility for a group of magistrates' courts.
Thank you. Right, how I want this panel discussion to go, I'm going to ask a couple of questions, but if there's anybody in the audience who'd like to make a point or ask a question to the panel, because we can't have all these successful women here and not extract what's in their brains. So if any of you've got a question or a point to make, please feel free and someone will come to you with a mic. Right, the first question I've got, and I'm going to put that to you, Carol, because you have experience of working in both the corporate sector and running your own business. What would you say are the key challenges facing black women, both in work and business?
So there's two sets of challenges I see. There's the internal challenges where women who don't have that self-belief to go after what it is that they want to achieve. And there's the external barriers. As a woman and as a black woman, there's a lot of bias against us. So when it comes to getting those senior roles, when it comes to getting those contracts in business, not often given the same opportunities as our male counterparts.
And what about you, Antonia? What do you think are the main challenges black women in business face?
I think it's all in your mind, to be honest. If you think there's a challenge, then there is one. If you don't think there's a challenge, then there isn't one. It's all about how you think, and it's all about how you focus, and it's all about your dreams, and whether or not you're consistent and persistent and determined enough to reach there. It's as simple as that. Who thought that I would ever be launching my brand, my skincare brand, as the first black woman ever at Harrods? Who thought that? Where did that come from? Is that a barrier? No, it's not. I think it's how far and how high you want to go. And you can, I don't know, I don't really like that word, barriers. There are no barriers. And I think if we think in that manner and we get that sort of thinking and that vibration and that feeling around us that there are no barriers, what you're destined to do, you can do. So go and do it.
Thank you. That was very passionate. I'm reverting back to my normal name now of Marcia Dixon because Jennifer has arrived.
Morning, ladies. So sorry I was late. I'll give you some of the reasons I was late. One was a wardrobe malfunction, one was a toddler, and the other was a teenager.
I'd just like to say Jennifer is an award-winning lawyer. She runs her own practice and she has 5 children.
Thank you, but that's no excuse. Punctuality is important, so accept my apologies. Now, ladies, as you know, we all come from different streams and we don't all have the same opportunities, the same resources. So whether you are a sole trader, whether you are part of a director of a limited company, your challenges, your aims will all be different. So many women in business have these different, let me say, roles. So what steps does each woman have to take to build their business? Whether you're a sole trader, do you suddenly start marketing? If you're a director, do you suddenly start investing in staff? What would you say, ladies, that you need to do in order to build your business if you're starting? And I've been told to ask Sandra that question.
Well, I would say the first thing that I always say, if you have a dog and you don't even tell the person the name of the dog, the person won't know what the name of the dog is. So whatever that you do, you have to let people know what you're doing, that you have a business, what you created. And it's all about, so how do you go about doing that? The first thing I say, you tell your friends, you tell your family, and you'll say to them, can you tell someone else this is what I do? And then you start looking at your marketing, you start looking at your demographics. Who are you catering to? Who are you selling to? So you look at the people that you're selling to, or whatever, you know, your business is. So you've got to look for your market. What's your market? What's your demographic? And you start targeting that. And that's what I did because, you know, as I said, I say about myself first that I'm the first, not the first because Yinka was there, but I have, as I said, 2 businesses, Zandy's Hair and Cosmetics, and I'm the first black woman in Southeast London after Yinka to have hair and cosmetics store, which is located in Lewisham Shopping Centre, and it's been there for the past 4 years. And it's been a great challenge for me because knowing that, as you know, for us, that everywhere, as Antonia just said about barrier. I don't see barriers myself. I really, when someone said, what's the barrier? I said, there's no barrier. It's about the affirmation that you make and about where you put yourself, and you push yourself and you say, listen, I don't care if that door is closed, I'm going to break it down. So there is no barrier. And never ever, because once you start thinking, and remember how the mind works, you start saying something's there, you can't cross that because you start thinking that there's a barrier there. But you go and you just see it's a clear, I'm going to go through that door. There's no barrier, there's no change, there's no bells, nothing. I'm going through it. And that's the way I operate. And I push through. And a lot of time people say to me, Sandra, how do you do it? I said, I just push through. I don't see anything, any hindrance. And so when we start business, it's about, going back to the question, it's about who you are, who you're targeting to, and you're going to make sure that you make noise, that your presence is there. So if someone says, have you heard about Zandy's? Oh, yeah, someone told me about it. Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it on social media. I've seen it on posters or wherever, but you've got to make sure that you're present.
Thank you. Ms. Reid, how would you advise women to go about building their businesses?
So I think two frames of reference. Number one will be from the prophet Habakkuk, who said, write the vision and make it plain. And secondly, if we look at our supermodel, the Lord Jesus Christ, he came to fulfill a mission. And before he did anything, he recruited 12 people to help him because he needed to ensure that his mission, his business, had a longer life than what he had on earth. So anybody who's starting a business, the number one thing that I'd advise you to do is write your vision first, because in order to attract people to help you, like Sandra said, they need to know where you're going. What's your direction? What do you want to do? Don't write your vision based on where you are now. Base your vision on where you see yourself in 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. My favorite author, John Maxwell, he says, dream loud, dream big, and dream in color. So what I'd encourage you to do is think about where you are now. How old are you going to be in 20 years' time? What do you want your business to look? How much do you want to earn in 20 years' time? I'm not here for the people who want to earn £1,000 a month. That can't help me. That cannot help me. I'm here for the people who want in excess of million, 5 million plus. I'm here for those people because one of the challenges that I've experienced with women in particular, the Bible says the love of money is a root. Everybody wants to help somebody. Everybody wants to feed the homeless. I'm not even daring you to go to Tesco and leave with the free food and tell them you're going to help the people down the road. They will arrest you. Put mission to your money. When you put mission to your money, it gives it purpose. So now the reason why you need it is bigger than yourself. So if you're able to write down those things, then calling people to help you to fulfill your vision becomes not necessarily easy, because there are vision stealers and dream killers and those people who can't see any good in you because they knew that they went to you from nursery and they knew and you failed your GCSEs. Well, hey, so did I, it's no drama. But the number one thing I'd say is write your vision, recruit a team, and dream loud, and don't see obstacles. They are there, but I believe those obstacles are there to build your muscles, to make you stronger, to help you to fulfill whatever you've been called to do.
Thank you very much. Now, ladies, you've heard a lot of information, and I know that you're not all at the same level within your business aspirations, your plans, where you are if you're already in an ongoing and existing business. So at the moment, do any of you have any questions, please? Yes, please. To make it easy, you have to say your name. Good morning, beautiful. Do tell us your name. Hi, Fidelia. Can I just say to you that thank you for the question. Now, I'm going to throw it to the panel, but just on listening to you, it sounds like you need to have a lot of planning. It sounds like you've got the passion, but you haven't got the plan. Now, when you're in that situation, ladies, where you've got that desire, that drive, but you don't have the plan, one, you've got to actually wait till you've got things in a level of order. Things don't have to be perfect. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But at least you must be able to put these wonderful thoughts together. Then you have to think about a step-by-step way in which you're going to make sure that you excel forward. You don't want to stay jumbled. Passion there, everything there jumbled. No, but you have to actually think, okay, I want to go into beauty. You want to at least know the field you want to go into. Okay, then when you've got the field, it's thinking about how do I start? Do I join with somebody? Do I start on my own? Do I have the resources? What are my resources like? So at the moment, yes, it's important to pray. It's important to wait on the Lord. But at the same time, you have to be proactive with what that passion is. I can hear it. I can even feel it from you. But at the same time, you've got to think, okay, let me know. Yes, rush into this. But I'm going to take my time, find out exactly what it is I want to do, try to plot a path. And as you heard Miss Reid say, it is about planning. It is about structure as well when it comes down to business. So those are my thoughts with what you've just asked. Anybody else on the panel would like to answer that? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Carol.
in terms of if it's you don't know you want to do a business but you don't know what you want to do, think about what you're good at, what your talents are. We all have skills and talents and strengths, things that we're good at, things that when you do it you go into a flow. It's like time stands still because you become so absorbed in what it is that you're doing. So what is it that gives you that fire in your belly that you are so passionate about that you want to make a difference in? And think about those things. Look back over your career from when you were a child. Often what we want to do stems from when we're children. We have dreams and what we want to do when we grow older, but sometimes those dreams get covered by life and people putting us down. But so think about what some of your childhood dreams were and think about whatever that passion is, who can it serve? And then once you get clear about what your passion is and what it is that you want to do, then as Jennifer said, you need to make a plan. I see far too many women who have a business idea and they think, oh, I'll just build a website, get some business cards and I've got a business. That doesn't make a business. You have to have a plan.
Thank you. Sorry, Antonia.
Yeah, I would like to add to that or reinforce that. Can you hear me okay? No. Thank you. Okay. I would like to reinforce that for sure because God has created every single one of us with a gift. Do you believe that? We're all unique. Just like every single part of your body, you know, the metatarsal in your finger is needed. If it's broken, you're in pain and you can't use your hand, right? Do you see what I mean? We all have got different gifts. Now, I would say the point here is you need to identify your gift. And people will say, how do I do it? Which was your question, yeah? How do I know? It's difficult, and a lot of people ask me that. And I would say, again, as a reinforcement, is think about something that you would love to do and you don't want to get paid for it. You would do it morning, noon, and night, upside, in the rain, in the snow, on the ski jumps, everywhere, without getting paid for it. And you love it and you want to give it. Is there something within you that you would do that for? And that's where I think you need to find yourself in that space, because I believe that that is your true gift.
Thank you.
And when you are working in your gift, then I also believe that God will then give you the favor. God will then bring you the people, because the Bible says when you're working in your gift, God places you in front of great men, and those great men will open the doors. So you don't have to have the plan. You don't need to know everything. You can't. It's impossible. Don't put that pressure on yourself. The first thing to do is understand your gift. Get that right, because there are too many people and too many businesses operating in mediocrity because they are not working in their gift. Do your gift. Operate. This is about being destined to soar. This is about living the best and doing the best you can be. You can only do that if you're operating in the gift from the Almighty.
Thank you. Miss Reid.
Just kind of a different pathway to both what Antonia and Carol had said. Sometimes you will find your business through looking at what the community needs, and you might be able to respond to what the community needs, but it might not necessarily be the first thing that you love. You know, so there are some organizations that work with young people because they know that they can serve them, but not necessarily because it's a first love. what I've learnt, and here's what I know, I started a business not because I necessarily loved what I was doing, but I saw it as a pathway to get to do what I loved what I was doing. That way, if I choose to work for free, I can do, because the thing that I know pays me, which serves people, that's just been my experience. You also said that you're waiting to hear from God. I know we're in church, and please forgive me, but here's what I've also learnt. God blesses people on the move. We can't sit and say, oh Lord, I'm waiting to hear from you with our arms folded.
Action.
We can't do that.
Action.
He's given you everything that you need to start. Antonia and both Carol said, find something that you love, and if you make a mistake, if you fall flat on your face, ask yourself, what did I do wrong? What do I need to learn? Dry your eyes, reapply your mascara, and go again. And you keep on going, because as you keep on going, you build the muscles of your business. Let me guarantee you, nobody will ever not make a mistake. But what I've learned is you learn from those mistakes. And every time you learn from those mistakes, it makes you stronger. People see you. They're going to see you fall. And that's the other challenge that some of us black women have. We don't want to make a mistake. We don't want nobody to see us fall. We don't want nobody to see us with our wigs off. We don't want nobody to see us with no makeup on. It's in those moments that you soar. It's in those moments when you've got no wig that you get the letter through your front door that says, we've heard your story, we've seen what you've done, and you still survived the changing environment. We need you to come and do something. So it's very different to Antonia's and Carol's, but that's my real life experience.
Yeah.
Live your truth and take action.
Can I just add one little thing to that? And it's also wherever you are, always looking for where there's a gap, because sometimes there's a gap where you can find a gap in whatever market and a niche. Thank you. I was about to say that. So always looking for that. And yes, we wait on God, but it's the Bible said, faith without work is dead. So you got to work. So we got to work. So we can't just sit down and say, Lord, help me. We got to pray. The fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. But you got to pray and do something about it. Because he said you got to seek. And seek means looking around, knocking the door. So you can't just sit here and not knock it door. So it's got to be active.
I've seen another 4 questions in the audience. Thank you, ladies. And I'm anxious because I don't want anyone's hands to fall off. So if I take them in order of how I see you. So this lady here in the white hat. Black hat. I haven't had no coffee today, so black hat.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Makeda. I just wanted to actually add on to what these amazing ladies were saying, is that one of the most important things is to stay in your lane. Don't run out of your lane, because don't look at what Miss over there's doing. Oh, they're baking, I want to bake too. No. Yes, if you want to bake too, what is going to be different about what you're doing? Do you see what I mean? So run in your lane. Use your gifts, as these ladies have said. Don't try to be like anybody else. And when you're trying to find you, ask God who you are. What is it that you can give? What can you offer? And then you will just find yourself soaring, as we are here to do today. Amen.
Next, there's this lady here with the wrap. Remember to tell us your name. Good morning. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Yeah, my name is Marilyn. God has led me I've done an intervention program for schools, written an intervention program for schools, and also a motivational speech, and I write poetry, I sing as well. And I'm just starting out, and what I want to know is, what I've realised is I've read some of my poetry to the community outside, and also I've done a motivational speech I've shown to somebody as well. And I've realised that, people like to sometimes try and steal your gifts. And I even realised I felt so naive about that. So I just want to know, how do you... All I've done with all my work is just sent it back to myself and not opened it, so that if that happens, then at least I can, present that to my lawyer, solicitor, whoever it is. But how else can you just, keep your gifts safe so that no one else is going to try and copy what you've done?
All right. Primarily, if you are into writing, art, creativity, what's important is to copyright your work. If it's written work, then you obviously put your copyright signature at the bottom. Also, one thing that we don't do in this community is outline to people how you can legally copy or use people's material. One of the things you might want to do, my love, is you might want to license your material. If somebody wants to reread your poetry or use a portion of it, outline to them that you may license it to them for a few months or for that one-day event. There has to be that recognition for yourself, who is the creator. But going very much so deep into it, it's important that you do take legal advice. One of the things that we do in our community is cut corners. You must not cut corners. If you value yourself, do not shorten yourself. Do not devalue yourself. So do things the right way. All right? So I don't even mind having a conversation with you afterwards. Now, I know there's another 2 questions on this side.
Hi, really excellent advice thus far. I've got a question about risk. And when do you take the right calculated risk to launch into that next stage of business, to start that business, especially if you potentially have a job that's comfortable, that's paying, when to take the calculated risk?
All right, in order to speed things up, I'm going to also ask you to take the next question at the back there. Very good question, thank you. And did you give us your name?
It's Shamara Fletcher.
Thank you. Shamara. And the lady just behind you there in the brown jacket, thank you. Thank you for your patience.
It's Michelle Russell. I think you kind of mentioned it, Claudine, but I want to know, in the face of rejection, how do you build your resilience? How do you keep going?
Thank you very much. So risk and resilience, ladies. Who would like to take the question on risk? Go ahead, Antonia.
Okay. Part of my journey is that I used to run 3 very, 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 very successful beauty salons. One in Lewisham, one in Shepherd's Bush, and one in Bloomsbury in London. And I ran them for years, 8 years, 10 years, and we were making change, right? 6 figures, I was living life large, okay? I loved it, right? And it happened that one day, a client came into one of my clients came in, and she said to me, I brought my sister today, and this sister looked at me up and down like I was the dirtiest piece of dirt, and said, well, you're not going to do my skin because you're going to be another person that rips me off and blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, actually, no, but if you don't believe me, if I'm going to do your face, then I'll give you your money back if it doesn't work. She trusted me. Long story short, she was the reason my brand came alive, because I met a need, I serviced a niche, wrong way around there, right? But I said both what my 2 ladies here had said. I was meeting a need, but I was also entering into a new niche that I didn't know. But the bottom line there was that I was serving. And anyway, I started that product and I brought it into her. She thought I was mad. But I said, just use it, I'm not running anywhere. She used it. 2 weeks later, she came back and she had a little bit of a smile on her face. And she said, I quite liked it. She then came back and came back and came back to the point where I kept giving her more. And then she said, well, I can't keep doing this anymore, Antonia, it's terrible. And I was like, oh dear, what have I done now? And then she said, I want to give you some money. And I was like, oh, money. Money wasn't even on my mind. It was the service. It was the filling the need. It was the giving. Because when you give, you get back. So I thought, this is obviously really cool. This is really working. It's really good. And then, so from there, I trained my team. We put it in all the 3 clinics. That was one product. Everyone started to love it. It started to change lives because the niche I was filling was women who had acnes, post-inflammatory pigmentation, and wanted to address the aging skin. That's a difficult combination. Right. Now, it was then the risk that I thought, well, do I keep my salons or do I move into this product business? I don't have my salons anymore. I then took the leap of faith to get rid of them and enter into just doing my product. And boy, 6 months into it, did I regret it, because I didn't have 1 pence in my bank. Not 1 pence. For a number of weeks, I didn't have 1 penny. But you know something? That was a lesson. It was growing muscles. It was allowing me to manage 1 pence to pay my mortgage and get on the phone and ring Santander and say, I'm sorry, I've got 20p. Or BT, sorry, I've got 30 pence. It was a risk, but I managed it. And now, when things go rough, the business is great now, but we still get tough times where I'm like, oh, how am I going to pay 30 staff? I manage it because I've been there before. So you just got to go, but it needs to be, you need to kind of feel ready. You don't want to take an uncalculated risk, but it needs to feel right. Again, is it your gift?
Okay, thank you very much. Risk or resilience?
Fabulous questions, ladies. I'll try and keep this as succinct as I possibly can. In terms of risk, you've got to know what's right for you, and you've got to know what you can take, right? Entrepreneurship, let me be honest, is not for everybody. There are some things that you cannot manage the weight of responsibility. I don't know, I learned to get tough from talking to the tax man. When he was coming to tell me, Claudine, your PAYE bill is overdue at £20,000 for this month, and I've got to learn to negotiate with him. That's a major risk. You don't negotiate with the tax man. But you've got to know what you're carrying, you've got to know the capacity that you can take, and you've got to know what's within you. The second point on resilience, which I think is a fabulous question, we have to learn to be flexible and respond to environments, which kind of goes back to risk, because you've got to know, what can I take? Every environment changes. Your business environment changes. You know, you go into a business, you've got your business plan, everything looks like it's going swimmingly well, and then the government introduce a new taxation or a new regulation. How many know about GDPR? That one piece of legislation cost me around £3,000, and I hadn't budgeted for it, but I've got to comply. You've got to be resilient, and in that resilience, you've got to know, what can you take as the business owner, but also what can your team take? So here's what I did. I called in a consultant. She trained my team because I had meetings to go to. So I don't even know anything about GDPR. My staff do. They are the ones who make sure that everything happens. But this is about resilience. It's about your ability to be adaptable to changing situations. It's about your ability to be flexible to changing situations. And my last point, if you can't be flexible and adaptable to any level of change, you have to ask yourself, is this for me? Because your business will not be the same on the 31st of December 2020 as what it was on the 1st of January. And if it is, there's a problem.
Thank you. Ladies, we're running out of time swiftly, but I'd like to give the last word to Carol.
Yeah, if I could just pick up on what you were asking about rejection. Rejection and resilience, they kind of go hand in hand. Many women face that rejection, and rejection is just, it's the feeling that you get when people say no. We all want to belong, we all want to be accepted, but it's about having that belief that you are good enough. So if somebody says no, they're not rejecting you, it means that they don't necessarily want your product or services. And you've got to remember that it's not you that they are rejecting. You are good enough. It doesn't matter if somebody says no to you. You can find somebody else that wants what you have to offer. And in terms of resilience, resilience is about recognizing that in life we will get challenges, we will get knocked back, but it's how we respond to those setbacks will we determine how we get through it. And once you know that no matter what, you're going to be okay, you can find ways in which to develop your resilience. Have the right people around you who will uplift you and edify you and encourage you. So when you get that knockback, rather than thinking, oh my gosh, they don't want me, I'm no good at this, you will recognize that is just a feeling. And we don't have to live by our feelings. Just because you feel something, it doesn't mean that it is true.
It's a moment, it's not permanent, okay? Thank you, ladies. Now, two questions that we were not able to deal with that I think are quite pertinent to you is, one, how do you climb the career ladder? How do you aspire and go up? Because even if you're in a top position as a manager, the director's board is still up there that you might want to climb to. The regional manager's position might be there that you might want to climb to. Or you might just be starting and thinking, okay, how do I go from this position here into the one I really want to have? I want to live my truth rather than just be helping people on the front line. I want to be helping making policy decisions. So how to climb the career ladder was one. The second question that we didn't address, which is the one that I think is most pertinent to all of you in here, is how do you combine these professional and business aspirations with your faith? How do we make sure that we're working and we're still working in a manner that's kingdomly, that's in a manner that's complementary to how the Lord says we should be working? So those two questions are quite important. Marcia's going to kill me, but if any of you could throw some light on just those two things, how do you climb the career ladder quickly, and how do you combine your passions and what you want to do business-wise with your faith? Just one word each from each one of you.
I would like to just begin by saying sometimes you think that you're going backwards and you're not getting anywhere and you just think, oh my days, everyone's going ahead. But do you know something? Sometimes, and actually often, it's God pulling you back and he's holding you back and saying, don't go, don't go. And you're holding on, thinking, I want to go, and you're fighting and rappelling. But you're growing a few muscles while you're rappelling with God. But then he lets the bow go and you soar. So sometimes that holding back, and sometimes you're the vexation about everyone else getting ahead of you, and God's holding you back because when he's ready to let go, you're going to reach.
Thank you.
Fabulous. The question about business and faith, how does our faith interplay into our business? Here's what I've learned. My work is a form of worship. Every time I go into my office, or if I choose to work from home, my work is my worship. God lives in me. So I don't have to be quoting scriptures to everybody. The scriptures are a part of me. They are the foundation upon which I stand. Because if I quote scriptures to my clients, they will lock me up. But the Bible says a wise person who wins souls, right? Yeah. It takes a wise person to win souls. And so you've got to be able to learn whatever environment that you find yourself in, you find a way to repackage the love of God. You find a way to repackage what Jesus looks like to the clientele that you are serving. Can I just close on this last point? I did a presentation called The Power of Vision, and I wrote everything about what the prophet Habakkuk said, and all I did was take out the scriptural references. At the end of the conference, people came, oh, Claudine, this is really great. What did you learn about vision? You know what I said to them? You don't want to know. They said to me, yes, we do. Please tell us. I said, no. You do not want to know. They said, please tell us. I said, wait, right there. It was in the days when everybody used to carry a Bible, an actual Bible. It wasn't on my phone. I pulled out my Bible. I went into the scriptures. They said, what? You got all that in the Bible? I said, I told you you didn't want to know. They said, well, actually, we do. Can we have the scriptures, please?
Amen.
Well, I go with everything that Claudine is saying. I said, Christ lives in me, and everything that I do in my job, it's, Christ is in it, because the word is in me and I live through the words. I use the word. I'm not a Bible basher, but I use the word, and you can see that it exudes through me, and whatsoever I do, I make sure that God is involved in that. And that's all I do.
I'll quickly answer the one about progressing in your career, because some of you may not be called to start your own businesses. Some of you, your calling may be in the corporate environment. So what I would say is it's about strategically positioning yourself for the position that you want to achieve. Just as in business, you have a vision for your business, you need to have a vision for your career, where it is that you want to go, what it is that you want to achieve. And then you strategically position yourself, make a plan. How do I get to there? Who can be my sponsor? Who can champion you? Find somebody who is in a senior position, who is in a position of influence, who can champion your cause, who can talk to people who are the decision makers. They know your work, they know who you are. They can say, oh yeah, she's really good at this and she's really good at that. So when those positions become available, people are thinking about you. So in a nutshell, strategically position yourself. Have your vision for your career and strategically position yourself to achieve it.
Thank you so much. Ladies,
can I just read a couple of scriptures that I just want to share, please?
Just one moment. You want Marcia to jump on this stage and box me? Honestly, we've really run out of time. But ladies, I want you all to take away with you that you must have strength in faith, okay? You must have confidence in your skill, in your ability. Okay? And then the second thing is you must plan and you must strategically place yourself. Those of you who are in employment, during your appraisals, don't stay silent. Outline what you want. If you don't outline what you want in your appraisals, then you're shortchanging yourself. Your places of employment have an obligation to make a note and record what you ask for during those appraisals. And then secondly, even if you're in, let's say you're a self-employed position, let external benchmarks be your aim. So subscribe to professional bodies so that you know what your counterparts, your competition are doing in order to excel their own businesses. And you've got an objective standard to aspire to, not just what you're doing within your own space. All right, now I can see Marcia. Sorry I took your time. It was so important. These ladies just needed the answer. And I'd like you all to give the wonderful ladies a round of applause. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you.